There are so many business owners who literally are at 20, 30, maybe 50K a month, who's ready to scale, but they miss this one thing. And therefore, when they actually reach 100 to 200K a month, which we think is really awesome and successful, they start to panic and actually start to lose money. And it's because they don't really understand this one analogy that I'm going to explain in this video. And if you understand this, you'll be able to scale a lot profitably, a lot faster, and a lot more stress-free. So the amount of profit that you'll be making will be a lot more peaceful. But if you miss this, it can be in a complete show, and everything is going to be chaotic at the end of the day if you don't understand this one thing. And that's what I'm going to be explaining in this video. Before I do, I just want to say, if you enjoy marketing and business content, then this is the channel for you. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart, because I've put my heart and soul into growing businesses the last 10 to 12 years of my life, actually more, 14 years now. And I just love sharing the experience that has gone into it. So with that said, if you enjoy content like this, maybe consider subscribing, maybe hitting the notification bell so you can be notified about more videos like this. Now, in theory, guys, this topic I want to discuss today is an analogy I like to call the profit hill. Now, what is a hill? A hill basically looks like this. Okay? It's very simple. There's an uphill and there's a downhill. Now, I like this analogy because I feel like any business that's on level 1, which is hypothetically around 50K a month, if you want to get to 200-300K, there's a lot of effort that you're going to have to put in, man. And there's a lot of stress that's going to come with that effort. You're going to have to get a warehouse, a picker and a packer. You're going to have to increase your phone bill. This is now specifically online, but for any other business too. There's just new things that you're going to have to do, which are going to cost money, which is going to create a lot of stress and anxiety for you. And the nice thing is once you get to the top of the hill, once you exert that effort, because that's what a hill is, you have to exert energy in order to get on top. Once you get to the top of the hill, the good thing is there's a downhill. And the nice thing about a downhill is that it's a little bit easier. Doesn't mean that you can't focus and take your eye off the ball, because you can still trip and fall, you can still twist your ankle, you can catch a speed wobble and fall flat on your face. So you're still going to have to keep your eye on the ball, but things do get a little bit easier once you're there. All right, and most business owners never get there. They literally work their way up and they just fall back. They cancel the business, they cancel with the marketing agency. They're so close to just taking things to the whole new level where things can be a bit more peaceful, but they just bounce off because nobody has taught them this, nobody has explained this to them. And that's what I'm trying to achieve with this video. So in theory, this is the analogy. It's called a hill, and I'm going to explain why. Right? So let's play a scenario out. You have a side hustle business. It's generating 50K a month. Congratulations. That's awesome. Now you want to take it a bit more seriously because there's huge potential here. It shows that you've got product market fit and you can turn this into a legitimate business. And your goal is to get to 150K a month because that's when you think you'll be able to make some profit. If I triple this business, I'm going to be doing over $1 million a year. I'm going to feel like a complete champ, and I'm going to be able to buy what I want when I want. And the reality is, it's not the case at all. In fact, you'll be most likely losing money getting there, and that's what a lot of people don't tell you. So here's how it works, right? You've got a business that's doing 50K a month. Maybe you're making some profit, or in this case, we're just going to say that you're breaking even. So you're breaking even on 50K. Okay? You're not putting any money in your pocket because the business is still new. You're making a lot of mistakes, and you're spending maybe 10K a month or 5K a month on marketing, whatever. So you want to get to 150K, and you are deciding to yourself that you're going to hire an agency and you're going to pay them the management fee and the necessary money that they have to spend on marketing. So your expense bill goes up. Expenses goes up by, let's say, 30K, because you're spending 20K on ads, 20K. That's 20K, and you're spending 10K on management. Okay. Now, I know there's a lot of people who don't charge that, or maybe charge less, or maybe charge more, but just a ballpark, right? You're spending 30K a month on your marketing, and you're having someone do it for you because you don't have the time or the energy or the skills to do it. Okay. So your expenses now, in theory, 50K plus 30, what is that? Guys, quick math, 80K. You've got 80K's worth of expenses now. Now, the agency comes along, they take that 30K and they give you 5x ROAS. Amazing. Now, I can make a whole video on the nuances of ROAS, because there's someone who's going to say, well, 5x is not good. I can get 20x. I get 20x all the time for all my clients. Well, that's bullshit, just purely because unless all your clients are in the exact same industry where a 20x ROAS is most likely possible, because every industry is unique. Every industry is unique, and every product is unique, and every demographic is unique. So at the end of the day, a ROAS can be anything from 2 to up to 20, 30, depending on the industry. But let's just for the sake of this video, pretend like 5x is really healthy and you stoked, and the agency told you that you should be stoked if you get that. Okay, so what is ROAS? Just for the record, ROAS is revenue on ad spend. So that's just revenue that you make back after spending this money. Okay, so now what's happened is, what is 30 times 5? Well, that is 150K. You have just tripled your business and have achieved your goal. Congratulations. How does it feel? So in theory, here you are. You've reached your goal. You've got 150K. Now you're balling. You just saw the money coming in. You're taking your partner to fancy dinners. Maybe you bought yourself a nice watch, because everything is cracking and everybody has told you that this is the life. You've just made it. Well done. My friends, let me tell you that you are still over here. Let me tell you why. Because in a month or two, you're going to realize that you're actually running backwards and you're still at the bottom of the hill. Okay? And this is why. So you've got 150K. Remember, we said that you're breaking even on 50. So you've got 50K's worth of expenses. So let's take 150 expenses. So we deduct 50K. That becomes 100. Now we need to keep in mind that you sold an extra 100,000 rands worth of product at retail. Okay? So just keep that in mind. At retail. So let's say your GP, the average store has got a GP of 50%, which means you've got 100% markup. Awesome. Congratulations. That's pretty good. That then means that you've sold another 50K's worth of stock. Because this is start. This is what you were starting with. And now you've sold another extra 50K's worth of cost of goods. Right? So your expenses now is 100K. Then your expenses have gone up by 30K because you had to pay the marketing agency. So another minus 30. So now you're down 130K. And then you realized, oh, I had to get a place to rent because my landlord was moaning about courier guy at my place the whole time. Or your phone bill's gone up because you have to phone all these customers. Then you realize your software bill's gone up because your email database has grown. You realize you now have to register for VAT, so you've gone up by 15%. You realize all of these things, you have to get a picker and packer, whatever. So let's say the bill goes up by another 20K. This is all hypothetical, obviously. Now, technically, in theory, you've got 50 plus 50 is 100, 30 plus 20, 150K. You are now 150K's worth of expenses, you're making 150K's worth of revenue, and that is why it feels like you are still at the bottom of the hill. Because now you've had additional expenses. Remember, you took your missus out or your partner out to a nice fancy dinner, bought yourself a nice watch. And why not? Because you're making money, man. You're making money. So here we are. And you forgot that you had personal expenses of 30K. Because life's good. You went away as well. Went away on a weekend. Awesome. So now you made 30K loss. 30K loss. That is after you did 150K. So you just tripled your business and revenue, but you made a 30K loss. Your bank account is now in the red. What the hell's happening? Nothing makes sense. Life is broken. Life is broken. Nothing makes sense. Everything is unfair. And I'm going to cancel the agency because they're not doing their job. You know, what do they know? I'm going to reply to this unsolicited email of a random guy who told me that he's going to guarantee me a 20x and refund me my money if I give him 30 or 40K. So you find yourself in these situations where you panic, stress, get super anxious, and you cancel with the agency, and you're just like, this is not for me. But in theory, you were actually closer than you think. This just feels like you're at the bottom. It just feels that way. But in theory, my friend, you are actually right here. All you had to do was take one more step. One more step. But you couldn't see it because nobody has explained this to you in your life. And I'm going to explain to you why it's just one more step. You're right there. Right there. All you need to do is do one more thing. Then you would be smiling. The profits would be a little bit more peaceful. And that bank account will actually be growing. Here's why. You see, if we come back to this math here, you've got 150K's worth of expenses. We need to understand that a lot of these expenses now are fixed. Okay, that's the one thing. So they are fixed because you're not going to need another warehouse now, purely because, or a little place to rent, because that could probably sustain you to 300, 400, 500K. You don't need to get another pick and packer because on maximum orders per day, you might be doing 10, but you can actually do 30 with one person or 40 with one person. You know, you realize that the phone bill's gone up a lot, but it's not going to go up that much more. And even if it does, it's marginal. You know, you realize that shopping fee is always going to be 1% on Shopify, you know, the transaction fee. Then you deal with the courier percentage, the courier fees and all that stuff is all variable expenses that remain in ratio to the growth. So they're always going to be there, sure. But the bulk of your expenses are going to be fixed. And the reason you're going backwards is because your fixed expenses are over here and your revenue was over here now as well. But this is fixed, like I said. So if you could double down on your budget, take this 30K and times it by 2, which means you're spending 60K on ads or marketing because you're getting a 5x rise. If you had to spend 60K, you can get to, what is 6 times 5? 300K. So all you have to do is double the budget. But do you feel like doubling the budget when your bank account's going backwards? Absolutely not. I know I didn't. But I didn't understand the data. This is why I love data. And I've seen business owners cancel, literally close their doors in this situation more times than I can tell. More times than I can tell. And it's purely because nobody explained this to them. There was no way that they could see that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And that's why I'm making this video. So in theory, if you had to double the budget, your expenses might go up by this much, but your revenue would be this much. And this all would be profit. So in theory, let's play it out. Let's say, now you've got 150K worth of expenses, okay? So it's 150. You sell another 150,000 rands worth of products, which is 75. So expenses now go up to 225. And let's say there's 10% of transaction fees, shopping fees, all of this stuff, 10% of that, 30K. So now you're on, what is that, 255. My friends, if you had to deduct 300K or 255K from 300K, you would be left with, what is that, 45,000 Rand profit. In theory. Okay? That's before VAT, whatever, but just get what I'm trying to say. So that's 45K profit. Now life's looking a bit better. Now life is getting a bit bigger, a bit better. Because yes, you've taken into consideration your cost of goods. You've taken into consideration 10%, maybe 12% of variable costs. But now it's 255K, but you made 300, so you've got 45K surplus in the bank account. And over 6 months, that becomes 300K surplus, roughly. Not exactly, obviously I know, 45, I know, just saying. So 300K now after 6 months. So this is why I'm saying you are right here. Because if you had to double the budget, all you had to do here was one more step. And that step is double down. But we don't want to because it's too stressful. But you can see why it's a calculated risk. Because all the data is pointing that you're doing something right. So if you had to double down, you'd be here. 45K puts you here. But if you had to double down again, and I know some people are going to say, well, Jandre, but the ROAS is going to decline. But let's just say, 4x ROAS. Remember, you don't bank percentages, you bank money back in the business. You're looking for money back in your pocket. And you've just found a recipe that if you keep your business expenses lean, your business lean, and you keep spending more money on marketing, the revenue of the actual ads and the profit of those ads will surpass your fixed expenses. And now it just becomes a numbers game. And that's what a lot of people miss out on. They don't know this. And that's what I wanted to make this video. And I hope this was helpful to you. Let me know in the comments if it was. And again, if you like content like this, maybe just like or subscribe. And maybe hit that notification bell if you want to see more videos like this pop up into your feed. All right. Okay. Much love. Cheers.